the monarchy will be shifting in a slightly different direction.
I think it's safe to say that change is on my agenda.
Let me take you somewhere you've never seen on TV. It's not Buckingham Palace. No gold gates, no tourists taking selfies. This place is hidden, deep in the English countryside, about 2 hours west of London. Locals don't even talk about it. Imagine tall stone walls covered in ivy, iron gates that don't have a royal crest, and a name on the deed that isn't real. Diana used a fake name to buy it. She called herself Mrs. Smith. Seriously, this was 1996, right after she divorced Prince Charles. The paparazzi were chasing her everywhere. She couldn't breathe. So she found this old estate with 20 acres of private forest, a lake you couldn't see from the road, and a garden where no helicopter could land. Why did she need this? Because Diana wanted one place where she wasn't a princess. She told a friend, "I want to walk outside in my pajamas without the world watching." She took William and Harry there on weekends. They rode bikes, climbed trees, had no royal guards, no fancy dinners. Just a mom and her boys. But then came August 31st, 1997. Paris. A tunnel. And everything stopped. When Diana died, the estate went into a legal cage called a trust. Nobody could touch it for 25 years. That's almost as long as William has been alive. During those years, the house sat empty. The gardens grew wild. The paint peeled. It became a ghost place, a time capsule of Diana's secret life. But here's where it gets messy. The Queen Mother's side of the family wanted to sell it. Camilla's family, yes, Camilla Parker Bowles, wanted to buy it. They saw dollar signs. They wanted to tear down the old memories. For years, William stayed quiet. He didn't argue. He didn't fight in public. He just waited. And last month, the papers were signed. No Camilla. No Bowles family. Just William's name on that deed. He owns it. Free and clear. No strings. No royal permission. But how did he beat them to it? And why is Camilla's family so angry they aren't speaking to the press? While the public thought the royal family had finally moved on from the Diana years, behind closed doors, something much darker was brewing. Insiders now reveal that Camilla's camp was quietly, methodically trying to erase Diana's physical footprint from the earth. Not just her memory, her actual places, her safe zones, her hiding spots. According to a leaked email obtained by the Times back in 2019, Camilla's son, Tom Parker Bowles, reached out to a London real estate agent with a very specific question. He wanted to know about the property's redevelopment potential. Now, let me translate that for you, because those fancy words hide an ugly meaning. Redevelopment potential is rich people talk for tear it all down and build something new. Tom wasn't asking about fixing the garden or repainting the walls. He was asking how fast they could demolish Diana's secret sanctuary. Sources say Camilla herself hated that estate with a burning passion. Why? Because it was one place Diana could go that even the Queen couldn't enter. No royal oversight. No palace permission. Just a woman living her own life. And the royal family, especially Camilla, hates nothing more than a woman who doesn't need them. Diana didn't need their approval. She didn't need their money. She had her own secret castle. And that drove Camilla crazy. For years, Camilla watched from the sidelines as the estate sat empty. She probably thought nobody would notice if it just disappeared. A new spa here. A fancy guest house there. Nobody would remember Diana had ever touched it. But Camilla made one huge mistake. She forgot about William. When the prince found out about Tom Parker Bowles' inquiry, witnesses say he went completely cold. Not angry. Not loud. Cold. The kind of cold that freezes the air in the room. He didn't shout at Camilla. He didn't argue with his father. He simply picked up the phone, called his private lawyers, and gave them an order so simple it was terrifying. "Match any offer they make," he said. Then he paused, and added, "Double it if necessary." That's when the game changed. William wasn't playing defense anymore. He was going on offense. But would Camilla and her family just walk away quietly? Or were they planning something even bigger? Then this is where the story explodes. Camilla's family thought they had won. They had the cash ready. They had the real estate agents on speed dial. They even had a friendly relationship with the trust managers who controlled the estate after Diana died. Tom Parker Bowles was already picking out paint colors for the new guest house. Seriously, a source told the Daily Mail that Tom had emailed an interior designer asking for modern English country style samples. That's how confident they were. But here's the thing about the Bowles family. They forgot one very important detail. Prince William isn't just Diana's son. His her heir. And Diana was smarter than anyone gave her credit for. Buried deep inside the estate's legal files, hidden among pages of boring trust documents, was a secret clause that Diana's lawyers added on August 30th, 1997. That's right. The day before she died. Let that sink in. Diana was in Paris, just hours away from that fatal car crash, and somewhere in London, a law firm was filing paperwork that would protect her sons 25 years later. The clause was simple but devastating. It gave Diana's direct bloodline something called a right of first refusal. In normal people language, that means if anyone tries to buy that estate, William gets to jump to the front of the line. He doesn't have to bid. He doesn't have to negotiate. He just says mine and it's his. When Camilla's family sent their official offer to the trust, they were smiling. They thought it was done. But the lawyer handling the estate just looked at them, smiled back, and slid a copy of Diana's secret clause across the table. Then he said 7 words that destroyed their entire plan. William has already activated his right of refusal. Tom Parker Bowles reportedly turned white. Camilla, when she heard the news, didn't speak for 2 days. 2 days. In a family where public silence is rare, that is a scream. William didn't just buy an estate. He finished something his mother started the night before she died. It's almost like Diana knew they would come for her sanctuary. And she left a loaded gun in William's hands. But how did Camilla react when she found out? And what happened during the angry phone call that made a palace staffer quit? That story is coming up next. Now that we know how William won the legal battle, let me take you inside the actual estate. Because this isn't just a house. It's a museum of rebellion. A time capsule of a woman who refused to break. Investigative reports from the Sunday Times and a rare, leaked photograph from 1995 show that the estate has a very special room. The staff calls it the Blue Room. Diana painted it herself. By hand. With a brush. No decorators. No royal helpers. Just her, a can of pale blue paint, and a lot of anger. Why blue? Because Charles once told her she didn't have the taste to choose colors for their shared home. So Diana painted this room as a message. And here is the rule she made, and she made it crystal clear. No Windsor was allowed past that door. Not Charles. Not the Queen. Not any of his aunts or uncles. Ever. For years, Charles would visit to pick up the boys and he would have to wait in the hallway like a stranger. A prince of England. Waiting outside a bedroom door because his ex-wife said no. That is power. So what's inside this forbidden room? According to a former staff member who spoke anonymously to the Mirror, the Blue Room holds 3 incredible things. First, handwritten letters from William and Harry as children. Not copies. The originals. Doodles, spelling mistakes, tear stains. Diana kept everything. Second, photo albums that no tabloid has ever seen. Pictures of her sons without royal clothes. No suits. No ties. Just muddy boots and messy hair. Normal life. The thing Diana wanted most. And third, a small television. That might not sound crazy until you hear what she watched on it. According to the same staff member, Diana used to watch The Crown in that room. Yes, the Netflix show about her own miserable marriage. She would sit there, alone, eating popcorn, laughing at the actors playing her pain. That is either incredibly brave or completely insane. Probably both. When William took the keys last month, he didn't call a renovation crew. He didn't hire a security team. He walked past everyone, went straight to the Blue Room, locked the door, and sat there for 3 hours. Alone. The guards outside heard nothing. No music. No phone calls. Just silence. This is why he bought the estate. Not for money. Not for land. For memory. Camilla's family wanted to turn this place into a spa. William just turned it into a shrine. But Camilla wasn't going to stay quiet forever. In the next chapter, she makes a phone call that shakes the palace to its foundations. So William has the estate. He has the keys. He's sitting in the Blue Room, surrounded by his mother's memories. You would think the story ends there, right? Wrong. Because Camilla wasn't about to let this humiliation slide. Royal sources speaking to the Daily Beast have confirmed something shocking. Camilla broke protocol. And when I say broke protocol, I don't mean she wore the wrong hat to a wedding. I mean she did something that senior royals almost never do. She confronted William directly. Normally, when there's a family fight, King Charles steps in. He plays the mediator. He smooths things over with quiet phone calls and private dinners. But this time, Camilla didn't wait for Charles. She picked up her own phone. And she called William. The conversation reportedly took place on a Thursday afternoon, around 3 o'clock, At Clarence's house. That's Camilla's official residence. A staff member was walking past the door when they heard raised voices. Not shouting at first. Just tense. Sharp. The kind of quiet anger that cuts deeper than screaming. According to this source, Camilla said something like, "You've taken something that belongs to this family." Her voice was shaking. Not with sadness. With fury. She told William that he had embarrassed her sons, that the London real estate community was laughing at the Bowles family, that he had crossed a line. And then William spoke. His reply. Short. Cold. Devastating. He said, "No. I took back something you tried to steal from my mother." Then he hung up. Just like that. No goodbye. No, let's talk about this later. Click. The line went dead. The staff member told reporters that Camilla sat in silence for a full minute. Then she threw a glass across the room. Not a crystal wine glass. A heavy water glass. It shattered against the wall. The palace tried to bury this story immediately. Within hours, a spokesperson released a bland statement saying no such conversation took place. But here's the problem. 3 different sources confirmed the same details to 3 different newspapers. And then something even stranger happened. Camilla disappeared from public duties for 3 days. No appearances. No photo ops. No wave from the car window. For a senior royal to vanish like that, with no explanation, that is louder than any press release. Meanwhile, the Bowles family has gone completely silent. Tom Parker Bowles won't answer questions from reporters. Camilla's sister has deleted her social media. They know they lost. And they know the whole world is watching. But what happens now? Does William rub salt in the wound? Or does he do something even more powerful? The final chapter reveals the charity twist that will make Camilla furious forever. So William won the estate. He hung up on Camilla. The Blue Room is safe. But what happens next? Does he just lock the gates and visit once a year like a museum curator? No, that's not William's style. He's about to do something so bold, so personal, and so perfectly aimed at Camilla's heart that it changes everything. According to a quiet press release that most news outlets almost missed, William is turning the secret estate into a charity hub. But not just any charity. Listen to this. He's creating a retreat center for single mothers going through high-conflict divorces. Yes, you heard that right. The same estate where Diana cried, hid, and healed herself will now be a safe haven for women walking the exact same road she walked. The program is called the Diana Wing. William chose that name himself. No committee. No palace approval. Just his mother's name on a door that Camilla's family wanted to tear down. Think about the message here. Every single mother who walks through those gates will be a living reminder of why Diana needed this place. Every laugh, every tear, every therapy session will echo Diana's own struggle. And Camilla, she has to sit back and watch. Because she can't say a word. If she complains, she looks cruel. If she stays silent, she looks guilty. William has trapped her in a cage made of her own reputation. But here's the best part. Because William owns the estate privately, not as a royal, not as the Prince of Wales, but as a private citizen, the royal family has zero power to stop him. Zero. No parliament can vote on it. No king's consent is required. No Archbishop of Canterbury can lecture him about duty. The land is his. The house is his. The Blue Room with Diana's TV and her son's tear-stained letters. His. Camilla's family has completely stopped talking to the press. Sources say Tom Parker Bowles has instructed his agent to decline all interview requests. They know they lost. But more than that, they know William is just getting started. He could have sold the estate for millions. He could have rented it to billionaires. Instead, he turned it into a weapon wrapped in charity ribbon. And every time a single mother checks in for a week of peace, Camilla will see Diana's face in the news all over again. But is there any chance Camilla fights back? And what does the future king's final victory look like? The last chapter reveals the one thing Camilla will never be able to take from William. So here we are. The estate is William's. Camilla's family has gone silent. The Diana Wing is about to open its doors to single mothers who need a safe place to heal. But if you think this story is just about a house, you've missed the point entirely. This isn't about bricks and gardens. It's about power. Real power. The kind that doesn't need crowns or thrones or titles. Remember how the royal family used to see Diana? They called her fragile, unstable, a liability. They thought she was weak because she cried in public. They thought she was dangerous because she told the truth. They pushed her out, divorced her, and watched her die alone in a Paris tunnel. And then they spent 25 years trying to erase her. But here's what they forgot. Diana wasn't weak. She was patient. And she raised a son who plays chess, not checkers. William waited 25 years. Let me say that again. 25 years. He watched Camilla walk into his mother's old rooms. He watched his father put Camilla's family in positions of power. He watched Tom Parker Bowles get invited to royal dinners. And he said nothing. He smiled for the cameras. He shook their hands. He let them get comfortable. He let them think they had won. And then, when they reached for his mother's lost secret sanctuary, he pulled the trigger. No drama. No tabloid war. Just a quiet phone call to his lawyers and a secret clause Diana wrote the day before she died. That is not the move of a man who forgives. That is the move of a man who remembers. The Bowles family thought they were fighting for a piece of land. They didn't realize they were fighting a ghost. And you cannot win against a ghost. Especially not one protected by a future king. So what's the final lesson, hey? Blood is thicker than titles. A mother's love is stronger than a palace. And no matter how rich Camilla gets, no matter how many royal apartments she redecorates, she will never, ever own Diana's shadow. William just proved that some estates are worth more than money. They are worth war. And he won. The Diana wing will open next spring. The blue room will stay exactly as Diana left it. And somewhere, in a quiet corner of that secret garden, a single mother will sit on a bench and read a letter William left behind. It says 3 words. She was a. And that, right there, is checkmate.